Okay, good evening everyone. So today's quiz is going to be on basic awareness of traffic and driving. So any age group participant can participate and give the answers. It could be the student, it could be the parent, or it could be anyone of any age. So 7-2 right now, we have 62 participants. So let's wait for a couple of minutes more. 7-5 I will so I will start it sharp at 7-5. We have 70 participants as of now. Eighty-three participants have come as of now. 7-4. Good evening everyone. So 85, 87 participants. 7-4 is the time. 7-5 I shall start. So each question will have only 30 seconds today, and you will have total 35 questions to answer. Okay, 90 participants and the time is 7-5. Okay, good luck to everyone. So read the question carefully and pick the right choice. Let's begin. First question on your screens. Dash, what is an official document that shows you are able to drive? What is an official document that shows you are able to drive? That means if you do not have this document, you are not able to drive. That means you don't have permission to drive. Even though you know the driving, you're not permitted to drive any vehicle without this document. 67 members answered, 68 members answered out of 92 participants. The leaderboard score says Adnan is on the top, followed by Umesh Chandra, Salim, Naveen. 60 members answered this question correctly. Moving on to the next question, question number 2 on your screens now. The government has introduced a new campaign in an attempt to reduce the number of road accidents. So what is that new campaign introduced by the government? Time is up. 66 members answered out of 98 participants, whereas second, third, fourth and sixth positions were replaced. I guess 55 members answered this question correctly. Moving on to the next question, question number 3. Now on your screens now, drivers have to, what drivers have to do, with their seat belt whenever they drive. So drivers have to dash their seat belt whenever they drive. There ends the time. 74 members out of 106 participants answered within the time frame, whereas top 1 to 5th positions were replaced with new people. Only 7 members answered this question correctly. In my earlier quizzes also we have got this question. You need to fasten your seat belt. That is the correct word. Put or put on or tie, all the 3 options are wrong. It's not only related to driving, and it's not traffic awareness or driving awareness, but it is also related to English, whereas the fasten is the right word. So you need to fasten your seat belts. This word usually you can listen in most of the movies, especially English movies, or whenever you travel through the flight, then also they announce this. So let's move on to the next question, question number 4 on your screens now. Pedestrians should always use what when crossing the street? Now, what pedestrians should always use while crossing the street? We have a different name for this answer. We call it as zebra crossing. 77 members answered out of 113 participants within the time frame, whereas 3rd, 4th, 6th, 7th positions were replaced with new people. 55 members answered this question correctly. So moving on to the next question, question number 5. I had to park on the street because the restaurant's dash was full. So what was full and why? There ends the time. 78 members were able to answer within the time frame. 5th, 6th, 7th positions were replaced, whereas 56 members answered this question correctly. So restaurant's parking lot was full, hence I had to park on the street. Let's move on to the next question. 6th question. Every morning there is a dash on the way to work. So I often have to wait in my car a long time, and sometimes I am even late for work. So what's happening every morning on the way to work? What possibly could happen? There ends the time. 81 members answered out of 122 participants. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7 positions are replaced totally. So 58 members answered this question correctly. And one more thing I would like to remind once again, it's that how accurate you answered and how quick you answered makes the difference in the score. Okay, so let's move on to the next question, question number 7. I don't want you to ride in my car because the seat belt on the dash side is broken. Not only the safety precautions but also the vocabulary which is used in driving is also being questioned here. I hope you observed. There ends the time. 78 members answered within the time frame out of 124 participants, and 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, all these positions were replaced. 31 participants answered this question correctly. So passenger side is broken, the seat belt on the passenger side. So there are two positions on the front side of the car. One is driving position and another seat is passenger seat. So let's move on to the next question. Question number 8. I saw a terrible accident last night. A car hit a dash at a crosswalk. Crosswalk is also called as zebra crossing. Time is up. And the leaderboard scores. Second, third, fifth, the sixth and seventh positions were replaced with new people, whereas 22 members answered this question correctly and 37 members got confused with the word passenger. Passenger is a person traveling from one place to another place, maybe on a particular vehicle. But here, it's this accident happened. A car hit a pedestrian. Pedestrian is a person who is walking on the road. So pedestrian is the right answer. Moving on to the next question. Question number 9. On your screens now. There is no traffic light at this dash, so there are often accidents here. So where is this traffic light is, where they don't have traffic light signal, you need to identify. So you are going to learn the vocabulary used in driving or traffic. What kind of vocabulary? So you will be learning the meanings. There ends the time. 79 members were able to pick their choice within the time. And the leaderboard score says 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th positions were replaced with new people. And yes, 24 members answered this question correctly. Okay. Intersection is like, junction where you have, crossroads. It's like crossroads. 25 members chose it as crosswalk, but every zebra crossing will not have the signal, and it's not required as well. Right? But intersection, yes, it is required, the traffic light signal. So much appropriate one is intersection. That is the right answer. And 23 members chose it as a lane. Yes, this question is little tricky. It seems to be right, but you need to choose the word which has more priority as per the given question. Moving on to the next question. Question number 10. This highway has 4 dash on each side because many people use it to go to work. So what they have on both sides? This is also tricky, very tricky question. You might get the answers very similar, the options very similar, but please choose the appropriate one, and which is more more appropriate to this particular question. There ends the time. 77 members did it within the time, and we have Balasri Nandak on the top, followed by Vamshi Teja, Sri Vidwat, Divya Teja. 36 members answered this question correctly. Yes. So the highway has 4 lanes on each side because many people use it to go to work. Great. So moving on to the next question. Question number 11. I always wear my dash when I'm driving because it can save my life if I get into an accident. You might question what you are driving, or you might get the thought that what am I driving, to understand what am I wearing. But if you read the options, you will get the answer correctly. What is that you would be wearing while driving? There ends the time. Right, 77 members answered within the time frame. And the leaderboard scores, no change in the top 7 positions. This question seems to be real easy. Very quickly 67 members answered this question correctly. So let's move on to the next question. Question number 12 on your screens now. Why is city driving more difficult than driving in other environments? Why is city driving more difficult than driving in other environments? Read the options carefully and pick the wise option. There ends the time. 73 members picked their choice within the time frame, but sixth position is the only position which was replaced. And yes, 52 members answered this question correctly. So all the given 3 options is were the reasons that city driving is more difficult, because of all the 3 options. So let's move on to the next question. Question number 13. So look at the given sign, or given picture, and what does this sign represent? And then choose the right option. What does this sign represent? There ends the time. 77 members answered out of 142 participants. 5th and 7th positions were replaced with new people. 26 members answered this question correctly. Moving on to the next question. Question number 14 on your screens now. What does this sign represent? Look at the picture and tell what does this sign represent. These are all traffic signals, traffic signs, which you find often while you are traveling on a highway, or in the lanes, between the lanes, or in the city, wherever you go. Most of these signals, signs, you will be observing on the left hand side of your way. Sometimes we do not observe them, and sometimes we observe but we don't know what they are. Few people will really find, but few don't. So 2nd, 5th and 6th positions were replaced. So 57 members answered this correctly. No problem. So even if we mark it wrong, we are not going to lose anything, but definitely we will be learning. So whenever we mark wrong, then we have to be more responsible to know that answer, so that next time we will not do that mistake, and we are learning something new. So moving on to 15th question. So what does this sign represent? Look at the sign and tell me pick the right option, what this sign represents. Basic traffic signs. Yes, if you are a small if you are not at the age of driving, you might not know, but still it's not wrong to learn. Time is up. 79 members answered. Also, looking at the options, sometimes we can guess. 2nd and 7th positions were replaced. 59 members answered this question correctly. So by reading the options also, sometimes looking at the picture and reading the options, we can guess the right answer. Moving on to the next question. Question number 16 on your screens now. What does this sign represent? Look at the sign carefully and pick the right choice. What does this represent? There ends the time. 79 members answered this question correctly. Oh, sorry, 79 members answered it, and second, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh positions were replaced, whereas 43 members answered this question correctly. So what is this? Yeah, kilometers per hour. It's not meter per hour. So when you see this symbol, that means you need to travel 20 kilometers per hour speed. Moving on to the next question. Question number 17 on your screens now. Now, what does this sign represent? Look at the sign carefully. What does this represent? There ends the time, right? 79 members answered this within the time, whereas we have 149 participants. No change in the top 7 positions. 61 members answered this question correctly. Let's move on to next question. Question number 18 on your screens now. Now, what does this sign represent? Look at the picture. I'm also zooming the picture for YouTube viewers. There ends the time. 78 members were able to pick their choice within the time, and second, third, fifth, sixth, seventh positions were replaced again. It seems to be quite healthy competition between the participants. So most of the time, the scoreboard is changing after every question. So out of 78, 51 members answered this question correctly. So do not cross the street. So let's move on to the next question. Question number 19 on your screens now. So what does this sign represent? Look at the sign carefully, and what does this represent? There ends the time. 79 members answered, and top second, fifth positions were replaced. 25 members answered this question correctly. So let's move on to the next question. Question number 20. So what sign is this? Yeah, someone suggested that kilometers per hour should be kmph. Okay, as we discussed, sometimes we end up with some, typing mistakes. So definitely we shall correct that. So look at this picture, and 82 members answered to this question, whereas Balasri Nandak is on the top, followed by Lakshmi Prasanna, and other 2 positions were also changed. So I'll try to read that later. 80 members answered this question correctly. Actually, in the picture itself, you have the answer, right? Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question number 21. Now, what is this? What sign is this? Someone said someone mentioned that he or she is in her or his mom's car. Okay, 83 members were able to pick their choice within the time frame, and the leaderboard score says third, fourth positions Sri Vidwat and Abhiram. 64 members answered this question correctly. Moving on to next question. Question number 22nd on your screens now. Now look at the sign again. What sign is this? What sign this? What this sign represents, right? The options, given options, read them carefully and pick the wise option. Quick, pick the right one. And the order of the options might be different from one person to another participant. And I hope 30 seconds is more than enough to answer these questions. 82 members picked their choice within the time, whereas the scoreboard says third, fourth, fifth, sixth positions were replaced, and 29 members answered this question correctly. Okay, let's move on to next question. Question number 23. What does this sign represent? There ends the time. 83 members answered within the time out of 160 participants, whereas 6th and 7th positions were changed. 62 members answered this question correctly. Moving on to next question. Question number 24. So look at the picture again, and what does this sign mean? You have only 3 options to choose the right one. There ends the time. 85 members answered out of 160 participants, and the leaderboard scores no change in the top 7 positions. 59 members answered it correctly. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 25. So look at the picture again. What does it mean? What does it mean? The given sign. Pick the right option from the given 3 options. 86 members picked their choice, whereas the leaderboard score says 2nd, 5th and 6th positions were replaced. 48 members answered this question correctly. 25 members got confused and they have answered as T junction, but it doesn't look like T. It is a roundabout. It's in a circle, and 3 arrows are showing that it's one after the other and in a circle position. So roundabout is the right answer. Moving on to next question. Question number 26. The picture of winding road ahead is what? Okay, there ends the time. 88 members answered out of 163 participants. Second position was replaced. I can't see how many members answered it correctly. It's mixed up with a white background. I guess 78 members answered this question correctly. Moving on to next question. Question number 27 on your screens now. The correct picture of narrow bridge ahead. The correct picture of narrow bridge ahead is time is up. 91 members answered out of 163 participants. The leaderboard scores, second and sixth positions were replaced. 84 members answered this question correctly. Moving on to the next question, question number 28 on your screens now. The picture of no left turn is. Time is up. 88 members answered it, whereas the leaderboard scores, sixth position is replaced with a new person. Moving. Oh, again, I cannot read the number, how many members answered it correctly, but most of them did it good. So let's move on to next question. Question number 29 on your screens now. The picture of crossroad is. Okay, second, third, fourth, sixth, seventh positions were replaced. 27 members answered this question correctly. Let's move on to the next question quickly. Question number 30th on your screens now. What does the sign mean? Look at the picture carefully, and what does the sign mean? There ends the time. 90 members picked their choice within the time. I wish every participant, start giving the answers. I see that few participants are joining the quiz but not completing it. They are not playing it well. I don't know why. 80 members answered it correctly. So you need to go ahead only. Let's move on to next question. Question number 31. You have total 35 questions. So when the light turns red, what do you do? This seems to be very easy question. There ends the time. 88 members answered. Okay, it shows no change in the leaderboard scores. So So 82 members answered this question correctly. Moving on to the next question, question number 32 on your screens now. When the light turns yellow, what should you do? There ends the time. 83 members picked their choice within the time. 7th position is replaced. 55 members answered it correctly, but 16 members have answered maybe what they will do, and 11 members answered it as scream. I don't know why they will scream when the light turns yellow. Maybe because they could not cross, or they missed the chance to cross it within the time. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 33. How often should you wear your seat belt? How often you should wear your seat belt? Maybe I would have given one option that whenever the traffic police is ahead, right? So whenever the traffic police is ahead, then only we will wear the seat belt. So third position is replaced, remaining all positions are same. 75 members answered it correctly. I hope everybody would be using this. 34th question on your screens now. When the light turns green, what should you do? Time is up. 82 members answered out of 167 participants, and the leaderboard scores no change in the top 7 positions. 65 members answered it correctly. Let's move on to the next question, the last question of the day. The cyclist and motorist have to wear a dash when they ride a motorbike, or when they ride a cycle. What they have to wear? There ends the time. 86 members answered it within the time. So 72 members answered this question correctly. Now let's check the final scores. Abhiram is on 3rd position, Vamshi Teja on 2nd position, Balasri Nandak on 1st position. Congratulations, and I appreciate time and effort of each and every student or every participant participated here. Thank you very much. If you would like to have your individual scores, you can always ask me. I'll be happy to send. And also, if you would like to be a host of these quizzes, or for any particular quiz, if you would like to host a quiz, then you are welcome. You can ping me, you can send a message on WhatsApp. My number is 8897384856. Okay, it's good night.